The true nature of our very being is to be in harmony. Tonight, we are starting a 3-part series. We will be exploring that which begins and that which ends, that which is real, and it is an illusion. We will be exploring something that is indeed the ultimate paradox of life, and it's one of my favorite things to talk about, which is almost impossible to talk about because it's so broad and so illusionary. And so I also want to say that it is, I believe, the second greatest gift that you and I have from the divine. I want to welcome you, friend, to the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. I'm Reverend Jody Stevenson, the senior minister here, and I always love seeing you and spending time with you. I want to welcome you to our third Wednesday of the year and treasure truly our time together. So what are we going to talk about that's not real but is real and maybe important or not important? Ends, begins. What is all this? It's the topic of time. It's the topic of time. And outside of the breath, I have come to believe that it is the second greatest gift of the divine. Time, it's so precious. The great Lao Tzu once said, Tao is the ultimate creative principle of the universe. Time consists simply of the events of nature that originate from the eternal Tao, a nothingness that is fullness because it is unlimited, unbounded, and unnamed. Time is the movement of the Tao in nature. And I think that's why he's constantly telling us, go hang out in nature and you will have all your answers questioned, all your questions. The answers to all your questions is what I'm trying to say. So in today's society, we have the capacity of being on high alert, energized, and on, indeed, a 24/7 aliveness. In fact, with our fast food 24-hour news channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, cell phones, websites, speed dating, really, finger snapping and racing through our everyday life, you do know that you and I can multitask at the speed of life today? Isn't that good news? Okay, that's not good news. In today's society, people are highly distracted, feelings of being eternally restless, trouble getting organized, consistently experiencing a low level of anxiety, trouble sleeping, trouble completing tasks, negative thinking, judging each other, and so much more. And all of these are symptoms of burnout. And all of these are symptoms of not being in direct contact with this most precious gift, time. As we move out of the industrial age, fully into the information age, out of the information age into the age of inattentiveness, we're going to be hearing more and more about this. We are at the risk of losing our connection with our awareness of how precious time is. When TikTok time, what I call TikTok time, drives our identity, feelings of crazy busy lead to burnout and exhaustion. And do know that you and I hate standing in line. I experienced that the other day at Starbucks. I had to laugh at myself. There were like 7 people in front of me. And I'm like, well, do you know how busy I am? I'm like, oh my God, Jody, listen to you. According to Forbes magazine, listen to this. Burnout is on the rise. Over half, 52% of survey respondents are experiencing burnout. It's up from 2021. 53% of millennials were already burned out pre-pandemic, and they remain the most affected population, with 59% now experiencing a sense of burnout or a disconnect from time. The pandemic's toll is also more apparent upon older generations. That would be me, in the baby boomer generation. We show an increase of 7% since last year. We're losing our connection with this precious gift called time. Gen Xers are currently burned out, a 14% jump from the 40% that they were last year. We are losing time. We are losing our connection, our awareness of this preciousness of what is really important to us. Robert Cam, author of The Superman Syndrome, wrote, "Technology is forcing Americans to live at speed, not depth." So the Greeks have a wonderful way of describing this. They actually have two names for time. I love this. I think we should embrace this in the English language. The two names are Chronos and Kairos. Chronos, the nickname that I have for Chronos time, is tick-tock time. Chronos refers to the sequential, linear, and chronological time. Now, our society needs tick-tock time. Can you imagine if your financial advisor came to you and said, I want to talk to you about the millions of dollars that you have, and let's meet after 3 nights after the full moon in 2 months. It's a little more complicated. So Chronos time is something our society needs, but the problem is that we identify ourselves more with Chronos time than Kairos time. We each have 1,440 minutes in a 24-hour period. That's tick-tock time. The great sage Rumi reminds us to come out of the circle of time into the circle of love. And love is Kairos time. Kairos time refers to that spiritual time, a time when there is no ending, there is no beginning. Something special, wonderful, and mystical happens in Kairos times. It's unhurried, unrushed, and undefined. And it really behooves us to take a few minutes of Chronos time and give it to Kairos. When we dedicate a few minutes, I'm asking for 2 to 3 minutes. I can't tell you how many people say to me, I don't have time to do a daily spiritual practice. And what I say to them is, that is an excuse, it's not a reason. And then they roll their eyes and they go, oh, Jody, you're such a pain in the... You can finish that statement. When we tap into Kairos time, just a few minutes every day, conflicts become harmonious, finances can be transformed, sicknesses can be healed, love and trust can be developed, and so much more can happen. And so to summarize, we're all asked to honor this great gift that the divine gives us, this precious thing we call time. We all have an opportunity to slow down, identify more with Kairos time, and define what we really want to experience in life right here, right now. The place where we are going to find happiness is right here, right now. So please join us each week, every Wednesday at 7 for a midweek uplift. And we're here to remind you just how simply wonderful you are as an individualized expression of the divine. And yes, you have within you the capacity to slow down, embrace the magic of life, and create a simple and rich life for yourself. So have a great week. Be sure and check out our online classes and events and opportunities and support that we have for you here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. And also, we have a donate button to push if you so choose. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being a part of our community. Love lives here. Have a great week. the true nature of our very being is to be in harmony.